Uh, we're live, Mr. Wade. Um, could you do the introduction for tonight, sir?
So good night, good night. Thank you, Leonard.
Yes, sir. You're
Good
welcome.
night to our Belizean people, both at home and abroad. Now, welcome to our 340 edition of our Belizean Affairs show on a blessed Monday, Labor Day, 1st September 2025.
All right.
And it's always a pleasure to sit in your company, Leonard, and we should expect our chairman for tonight, Mr. Gregory Brackett, and hopefully Mr. Gregory Morrison. Mr. Morrison join us tonight. If he get the location in time. But the show must goes on, Leonard.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot going on in our jewel, and I'm pretty sure that our chairman for tonight has something very interesting that to put across to the Belizean people. But as always, Leonard, our show must goes on. We, and time is always of an essence.
Yes, sir.
And we welcome our viewers and listeners, both at home and abroad. And Leonard, to those who will view us a little later on their own convenient time, welcome.
Yes, sir.
It's always a pleasure to have you, and thanks for supporting in viewing our program and sharing our program. Very educational, So, on that note, we have our little uh, way we launch our program, and we start with a prayer followed by a reading. And to remind our viewers and listeners, this is not, for the new for new viewers, because we have new viewers every time, and every so often we get some new people who, and thank you.
Mr. Wade,
um
Mr. Wade,
yes, sir.
can I butt in? Um, yes, we may not be preachers and evangelists like I wanted to be myself, but we're trying to do the next best, which is to some. In some instances, we are preaching to the choir, and in other instances, we are actually trying to educate the uninformed or inform the uninformed. And we hope that we provide a good enough background information, timely information to our Belizean people at home and abroad. I yield back to you, sir.
Thank
As
you, sir. So right on that.
our
And
chairman is in the background, but he's not ready to command yet.
yeah, thank you, Leonard. So we go straight to the prayer. Leonard, straight to a prayer. Lead us in a prayer until
Yes, yes, sir.
the chairman.
Thank you very much for the privilege, sir. Divine loving Father, once again we come before thy presence, asking that thou would consider our supplications, that thou would accept our humble expression of gratitude and thankfulness to thee for the privilege of life that thou hast accorded us, and for the opportunity to still be alive among our family members, friends, and loved ones. We pray that thou must bless our country of Belize, its people and leadership, that thou must bless this country of the United States, its people and leadership, and that thou mayest bless our Belizeans at home and abroad. We pray that thou mayest bless the rest of humanity, loving Father. Please be merciful unto us with all these wars and trials and tribulations that we are going through with tornadoes, volcano eruption, earthquakes, um, uh, hurricanes, and floodings, and all manner of disasters, loving Father, including all those lives that are being lost because of accidents and careless actions on the part of some of us. We pray that don't be merciful unto us. We ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen.
Man, thank you, Leonard. And I'll go straight to a reading,
You're welcome,
Leonard,
sir.
from Isaiah chapter 56. From Isaiah chapter 56, 1 to 10. And it reads, Thus, thus says the Lord, keep justice and do righteousness, for soon my salvation will come, and my righteousness be revealed. Blessed is the man who does this, and the Son of Man who holds it fast,
Amen.
who keeps the Sabbath, not profaning it, and keeps his hands from doing any evil. Let not the foreigner who has joined himself to the Lord's to the Lord say, the Lord will surely separate me from his people, and let not the announced says, behold, I am a dry tree. For thus say the Lord to the unaunched who keeps my Sabbath, who choose the things that please me, and holds fast my covenant. I will give in my name, I will give in my house and within my walls of monument, and a name better than sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. And the foreigner who join themselves to the Lord to minister to him, to love the name of the Lord, and to be his servant. Anyone who keeps the Sabbath and does not profane it, and holds fast my covenant, these I will bring to my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifice will be accepted on my altar, and my house shall be called a house of prayer for
Amen.
all peoples. The
Hmm.
Lord God, who gathers the outcasts of Israel, declares, I will gather yet another, I will gather yet others to him beside those already gathered. All you beasts of the field, come to devour all you beasts in the forest. His watchmen are blind. They are with they're all without knowledge. They are all silent dogs. They cannot bark, dreaming, laying down, loving to slumber. The dogs have a mighty appetite. They never have enough, but they are shepherds who have no understanding. They have all turned to their own way,
Hmm.
each to his own gain, one and all. They come, they say, let me get wine, let us fill ourselves with strong drinks, and tomorrow will be like this day, great beyond measure. That's my reading from Isaiah chapter 56, 1 to 10.
A wonderful,
Back,
wonderful reading, Mr. Chairman.
yes,
I
thank
use it.
you. Thank you, Leonard. Back to Mr. Gregory Brackett, the chairman for tonight. I pass the show graciously over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Good night to you, gentlemen.
Good night, Mr. Chairman.
Good night to the people at home and abroad. Thanking you to tune in to this our 348th edition of Belizean Affairs. Tonight, gentlemen, I want to go back to the Ryan Budna's incident. But before I do that, I want to hear what someone like Mr. Ryan Budna had to say in regards to the incident. And let's go straight to the tape.
Good morning, my people, my people. This is Levels again. So, my people, I was holding off on the Bunda case to see what the official reports were and what's going on. And I've read a lot of official reports. You know, when it's unfair, you got to talk about it. No, we cannot be scared and let these police officers or the law be corrupted and then say they wash their hands, even the government. You know, and that's what Bunda was doing, exposing everything, and that's what they wanted to get rid of him. You know, it is funny for the police department to say that no police were involved, but yet a man that is being taking his freedom away, losing his life, because once you go for 30 years or more plus escape charges, you really got nothing more to lose but to tell the truth. So if he says police officers, from his description, were the ones that abducted him and that big head people in charge were on the phone while he was being driven to Guatemala, then we have to believe him. We cannot let this government, because this PUP government has been one of the most corrupted. Wow. PUP have to go. That's my opinion. But then again, let's go back to the case of Bunda. What they did was treason. Do you guys know there's a big penalty for treason? It's supposed to be death. Treason is when you betray your own country, your own people. You don't care about the sovereignty. You don't care about our freedom. You don't care about our independence. You sell yourself to the Guatemalans. And if these police officers, officials, are involved, like Bunda said, and it comes from Bunda's own mouth, so they can't say I put this in their mouth, then we have a problem. We need to find out who did this. And sooner or later, I promise you, that there's videos out there, because the official report said that there were people trying to help Bunda. There's reports out there of citizens who were witnessing. And from the information I got was that the first plan was to execute. That was the first plan. That's what it is said out there. Since there were so many witnesses, I think it would be obvious. So they might as well just went straight to escorting him and giving him to the Guatemalans. Again, that is treason. If officials really did this, then it's a crime. And they will not only betray their people, but they betray their country. And this is the BS we cannot keep accepting. As I can see the report of the commissioner, he don't even know what to say most of the time. He's smiling and know that this. Show us the video that you got. Show us the video. Because sooner or later, there will be video coming out. Sooner or later, citizens will release the video of the real truth. The same thing happened with Johnny Briseño. He was interviewed and he couldn't even say nothing. Thought about it for a moment before he even answered. Like I said, we journalists, we people, we the ones that expose corruption will not be quiet. Things have happened to me myself, and I'm still fighting here for what's right for this country. And those that criticize that Bunda had criminal cases, you know what? Bunda had fought for the people and this country. And you're the one that criticizes. What have you done? Ask yourself. Look at the mirror. Nothing. But yet you want to criticize somebody who was defending this country. Yeah, he probably had his criminal reports or whatever, but he changed his life around. And you cannot judge a person that changed his life around and does what's right. His past is his past, and he wasn't in this country. He was convicted. It was in Guatemala. We're supposed to be land of the free, like Bunda said once in a video I uploaded. Where's the land of the free? So remember, they did not only betray our citizens, they betrayed our country. And that's called treason. And treason should be a punishment. Should be to death. So whoever did this, they need to find out and lock them up forever. Because you cannot betray our country or people, no matter who they are, how you think you... If there's not legal process such as Interpol that come and get them, you have no right to go and take them. I support this message 100%. The truth has to come out. This PUP government is being very corrupted. And yes, we will keep speaking. Jose Luis Spot, La Voz, and many more are coming. We cannot keep allowing this to happen in our country. We are the land of the free, so we can speak freely. La Voz support this message 100%. May God bless you all.
People at home and abroad, and gentlemen, I want to say this. This gentleman said something that really stands out. That how Mr. Budna has rehabbed himself, self-rehabilitation. And I want to agree with him because if he had just sit around and not get involved in disclosing corruption and other things that is happening in this country, he would not be where he's at today. But I also want to add on to that. People at home and abroad, I want to go back and refresh your memory when a foreign national came into this country by our government, a foreign terrorist, and the now foreign minister got up on live TV and said this man was rehabilitated because they run the finest test on him. High people test him and they said he was okay. And you know what? The same terrorist that I'm speaking about is now roaming our country freely as Mr. Budna was doing. And what is the difference between both of them? They both commit crimes against humanity. So let's not leave that out. Let's put it out there. So if our government can bring in one and says that he is rehabilitated because he went through the finest of tests, how come is it not then that Mr. Budna can rehabilitate himself? And he have done it. He have done it so good, an excellent job, that he had individuals in high places against him for exposing what they were doing. Mr. Wade, I go to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Um, as far as you said, and the idea on that tape, I applaud him for, not holding back. Applaud him for speaking out without fear or favor, and I applaud him in having the courage. And like you mentioned on that specific item that he says rehabilitation, we all know in this country what had transpired with Ryan Joseph Budna. His saga goes way back for some years now. Um, and I will say this: I just hope that his family does not sweep this under the rug. I hope that his family gets some good attorneys to fight this case, because this People's United Party, and I beg to differ when he says about corrupted party. I would like to say that both parties are corrupted, Mr. Lavos, right? Both parties are very, very, very corrupted. I just hope that the family, Mr. Chairman and Leonard, of this young man. As we have said before, what Mr. Budna had done, we do not condone what he had done. But something had happened some years ago that had Mr. Budna here, and the government of the day was involved. They just have to do the research, right? As to how Mr. Budna came back to Belize. And if he was that a bad person so wanted by the Guatemalans, look how long was this, like we said before, Budna was not hiding. It's just so happened that he was like a lot of us, speak out on certain issues and it affects certain people and they cast you as a devil when you uncover their evilness, their corruption, and you hit to the core. They try to dismantle you, right? That's what they're doing to Budna. So we have said through our program here, Mr. Chairman, that there is a right and a wrong way. They went about it doing it the wrong way. So all we are telling this People's United Party is to correct the wrongs that they have done to Budna and hand him over to the Guatemalans the right proper protocol, the right procedure, the humane way of doing things, not the way you guys did it. And I tell you, Mr. Commissioner and Mr. Brisenio and Mr. Mai and all of you, you are not covering up the right way. All the things that you are saying does not add up, Mr. Commissioner. Does not add up. So, in terms of that whole scenario there, and like the young man said just now, we just hope, and we had said it before, that everything will reveal itself, right? And one thing I in due time, in due process, one thing I would like to say is that this investigation, Mr. Chairman, you know, if it's carried out only by the police, it will not be righteous. It will not done right. They will cover up as much as they can and cover up to the extent. So an outside entity and people, an independent body that is not a PUP selected body, should be the one to do this investigation. And Mr. Chairman, like you mentioned, the terrorists that this People's United Party brought into this country, he's not a Belizean. Who knows where he came from? He was born, but surely not in Belize. Mr. Chairman, you mentioned the crime he has committed. The length and breadth, this very same People's United Party went to cover it up and edit it smoothly. Mr. Shine Barrow claims he rehabilitated himself, right? We accepted him. He had committed crime. He had served his time. Mr. John Brisenio's father committed crime, served his time, and I hope that he had rehabilitated himself. For those who do not know, you could hate me or love me. So I call 3 names, right? And there are many more. I hope that Johnny Brisenio's father had turned a new leaf, turned a new life. Same thing that Brian Joseph Budna was trying to do. But he just started and he getting on some politician skin, right? And if they never get rid of him, the bubble would have because it seems that he, Mr. Chairman, is not afraid to burst bubble, right? It would have been broken, that bubble, right? But like I say, I just hope and pray that, in due time, everything comes out to the light. And at the end of the day, whatever crime Ryan Joseph Budna had committed in Guatemala, they do the right process and let him, if he's supposed to serve his time, let him serve his time for crime he has committed. That's what they say. I don't know. Always a two side to a story, right? And like I say, these people, they need to stop covering up and man up. And I just hope and pray that this People's United Party government will be held accountable and to the world too, not only to Belize, Mr. Britannia, because whatever done in this country has been watched across this world. They will see the person who you are and the government that you are the leader of, the things you do, right? There are lots of things that you do wrong and some things you do right, but 98% of the things you do in this country is all wrong, and it's not liked by a lot of people. I, for one, Rudy Wade. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Mr. Brackett?
Thank you very much, sir. So, Chairman, thank you again for your lucid comments, Mr. Wade. You're right on target. As for what the chairman had mentioned earlier in regards to the terrorist that was brought into the country, how come they did not refuse to accept that individual? Because that individual was a self-confessed mass killer. Okay? He was a self-confessed person involved in mass killing. As regards to what he was accused of, being a participant in the process to knock down the Twin Towers in New York. Now, there's a lot of people who would say, well, we accepted that gentleman because the powers to be, who have more influence in our government than we, the Belizean people, have, dictated that outcome. And our government, for a fistful of dollars, was more than willing to compromise our safety and well-being, because there are people who would like to kill that gentleman. Some of his own colleagues that used to work with him, because they figure for him to be let loose and be given so much millions of dollars compared to his other compatriots who did not receive that kind of benefits, he must have sold them out. So for all intents and purposes, he's considered among them not as a hero anymore, but as a traitor.
Let's not forget, Mr. Brackett, his own country did not want to take him back. So let's not forget that.
How is it that we country could take him in without having consulted with the people in the country? Because our home, our foreign affairs office operates on our behalf, not on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, or on the part of the Prime Minister, or on the part of Cabinet, or anyone else. The country is paramount. All these people are subservient individuals, subordinate to we, the general population of the country. We, the people of the country, are the government. These are the individuals that caretaker. So they cannot just get up and for a fistful of dollars make these kind of decisions to benefit foreigners. And when the shoe is on the next foot, they don't have the guts or the balls or whatever it takes, the fortitude, to be able to stand up right and meet their obligations on behalf of our own Belizean born people. That is where I come into conflict with these people, the way they operate. I'm willing to give and allow a lot of leeway in terms of dealing with foreign affairs, but it can't be dealt with to the exclusion of our local population. You can be accused of any kind of crimes in any country, and especially as a black person, Mr. Budna, in Guatemala, he did not have a fair hearing for the crimes that he was alleged to have committed, nor did he have a fair outcome of his judgment. Because if they had found him guilty and the charges were correct, and he is to be declared and deemed as being guilty, and he is to serve a time, he should not be given any extra time more than the time that is given for similar type crimes. You have people committing murder in Guatemala right now, and they're not serving the kind of time that they had levied on Mr. Budna. Why? Because he was a black Belizean. He was not even a Guatemalan. Okay? So we have to face the reality. That is that had he been given a more reasonable judgment and sentence on the crimes that he was alleged to have committed, more likely or not, he will probably end up spending 10 to 15 or even maybe up to 20 years, which is a lot, by the way. And in Guatemala, they don't give you no time off for good behavior like we do in our system. They can give you 10 years and you end up serving maybe 6 or 7, and for good behavior, you'll get out for the rest, or you go on parole or whatever. That doesn't exist in Guatemala. So once they levy a sentence on you as a foreigner, you're thrown in jail and forgotten about, because while he was in jail, he was being abused and he was having problems to the point that other charges could have been brought against him, just like what happens in Belize. You go to jail in Belize for one crime, some petty crime, and you end up being saddled eventually with major crimes, which you have to also get tried for, and you have to serve out the extra time. I'm not going to bat on behalf of Mr. Budna for whatever he was alleged to have done or not done. All I'm saying, the gentleman was not dealt with fairly, because I lived 7 years in Guatemala. I know the system. I'm old enough now. I've lived in Honduras. I've lived 2 years. I've lived in El Salvador. I've been up and down Mexico, and I've lived in the United States. I've lived a long enough life to see what happens in this world when people want to discriminate against you. You're always given a worse sentence than you deserve because of the color of your skin, which shouldn't be the case. If you commit the crime, you should serve the same time that any other person's color and skin allow them to serve. That's my point, and I hope nobody get it wrong, or nobody try to piggyback on saying that I'm trying to defend Mr. Budna's crime when I wasn't even around when he was alleged to have committed those crimes. I'm saying people who does the same thing that he was accused of doing are supposed to be judged and have been judged and given less sentence than he was. Now, for we government, in fact, I'm not even going to the government. A lot of people are saying the decent thing to do right now is for the government to save face, use a diplomatic approach, try and convince the Guatemalans them to send back the man, because they know over there that according to them, then don't judge him already as guilty of the crimes. They could have asked for an extradition if he was so much of a criminal that they were, hot in pursuit of or wanted to have. Only because the man Ghana exposed the community center in Corozal, not Corozal, in Orange Walk, where the community center was in a decrepit state, and that kind of set wrong with the politicians them for not doing their job. The people were complaining, and Mr. Budna gone and got involved and tried to expose that to the public, as well as many other issues. He got under their skin, like Mr. We had said earlier. Okay? So now, because he got under their skin, they want it's a case of rendition. And I would say illegal rendition, because you have legal rendition, which is the case where you have an extradition process, and you have illegal rendition, which is the case where you kidnap a person out of your own country and you send them to the people who really need her, and we have justification for one time. My problem is that our constitution says that the government is supposed to have policies of state that accrue to the well-being of the society. Mr. Chairman, I would like to read a small little piece of thing here, if you allow me, sir. Just for closing up my initial remarks, I just want to read this stuff quickly and hope that I'm not abusing your time. Section 6, subsection 1 from the Constitution of Belize reads as follows. All persons, you never say only Leonard Brackett, or only Mr. Wade, or only Mr. Greg Brackett, or only the people who think that they're high and mighty and these things are not going to affect them. You never say some people. All people. I still presume that Mr. Budna is one of the people that this constitution is talking about. All persons are equal before the law and are entitled without any discrimination to the equal protection of the law. If any person is charged with a criminal offense, then unless the charges is withdrawn, the case shall be afforded a fair hearing within a reasonable time by an independent and impartial court established by law. So in Belize, under our constitution, we have ways and means to deal with criminals and crimes that are committed by individuals. Whether that person is a foreigner, whether that person is a Belizean. Once you're in Belize, you're under the jurisdiction of the Belize law. You're not under no Guatemalan law. You're not under no American or Mexican or Honduran or Salvadorian law. Okay? When you're in Belize, you're under Belizean law. We have a different governing system than these other countries. Some other stupid people will say, well, we need to deal with criminals like how Mr. Bukele to deal with criminals them. He is in a Spanish Republic. And the Spanish Republic doesn't operate like how he is operating. Okay? His way of operating is like the Nazis then. Okay? Because he has success in what he's doing, depriving everybody of their right. That means that we want our Belize country to turn into the same thing like them. We don't want our country to turn into Honduras or Guatemala, much less El Salvador. But people, because they don't feel like they're the one going to be harmed by these things that are being done, or it's not going to come back and haunt them, they're willing to go for a ride. And when Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde come out after them, but once they're on the ride with Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, they shouldn't be surprised. Because whatever is done to Mr. Budna can be done to other Belizean. In fact, we have another Belizean right now that the Guatemalans they have over there. The government didn't render him. They didn't give him an extradition so the Guatemalans could take her. Then come over here in a Fui place and take the man and carry him over there. And Fui government is just talking craziness about, well, they won't look into it. They could look into whatever they want for as many thousands of years as they want. Guatemala does not respect Belize and Belizean law. And until they get that in on a tough head, all they're going to do, they lie to the people and tell the people, oh, we are working out something behind the scene. We are dealing with diplomatic, we're using our diplomatic approach. We will never get the Guatemalans then to return back Mr. Budna under no condition. Know that they have him under their control. It is their laws that's going to be used. And their
Mr.
law is
Brackett,
supreme for our law, according to them.
Mr. Brackett, we know that that is a farce. And I can tell you why personally. Because the sister of the young man who is taken over there said for 2 years she had been trying to get the Belizean government involved. And all they said they would, they did nothing. It's only because of Mr. Budna's case
that
that
blew up
that
in their
case
face.
came about.
And because that blew up in their
So
face,
now, when you listen to them stipulating they are working on it and they had been involved, it's a
bogus,
farce.
bogus.
They were never involved. Okay?
They're only there to hustle and hustle as long as they're in office and that the powers are under their control.
I want to
End of the story.
say this too, right? And I want to say it categorically, as the commissioner of the police said, I know for a fact that Guatemala did not ask the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or did not seek extradition for Mr. Budna. And this go back to 6 years ago. There is bona fide proof they did not ask. So we can positively rule out Guatemalans came over and took him. Let's rule that out. Point blank. You know why, as I always say, these people tell on themselves, and now they are having a problem, and this is why they don't want to show the videotapes.
Mr. Chairman?
Because names were called, and there's no way to get around it. Go ahead,
Chairman?
Mr. Brackett.
Thank you very much, sir. No private individual in Belize would have been able to pull that particular effort off the way it was done. For them to have been successful in getting that done has to have some state sanction powers behind it. I'm broadening my statement because I do not want to limit myself to any one name. Because at the end of the day, no one person could have had that pulled off. Okay? And it was done with powers that include state powers.
Mr. Brackett, just to clarify what you just said, here in Belizean affairs, we show and tell. If we listen to what Mr. Budna said when he was handed over, the Guatemalans was given paperwork.
Whole file.
So that is telling me it's an extrajudicial extradition. But I'm saying to you people at home and abroad, this was done without the request from Guatemala. They never requested to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that they wanted Mr. Budna. And we are going to prove it right now and here. Let's go to the video.
He had to be released from police custody on Saturday evening late, as there has been no requests made for him by the Guatemalan authorities. That is one, and we know that he had a pending matter in the San Ignacio Magistrates Court, which we are still looking at as well.
Sir, I have seen an Interpol red notice for him. It's on the Interpol website.
Yes.
Is that what, explain to me how you cheat with that?
What happened is that a person will not be extradited based on only an Interpol red notice. There has to be some form of request made for him to be extradited to that country. And that would have to be done through the courts.
And so, is it complicated also by the fact that he's a Belizean? and you can't just give him an order to leave, expulsion.
Well, we will see where that goes from where, as I mentioned before, we had to release him. However, we were still looking at the pending matter that he has.
Okay, now what happens in the event that the Guatemalans do make a request after the fact? Maybe news travels slow, and they didn't know that.
Well, that will have to go through the normal process before that can be done.
Okay, now.
So there you go, gentlemen and people at home and abroad. We have an inspector telling us how an extradition need to be done. It had to go through the courts. This was said 6 years ago, so we know for a fact there was none, because the Guatemalans did not file for none. Before I go to you, gentlemen, I want to go to Mr. Vasquez.
Jules, are you ready to start the beef?
Let's beef it up, man. Let's try get it out quick.
All right,
Okay.
so let's have an update. What's the latest on Budna, and why won't the police release the security video?
Yeah, so that's the main reason I asked for the platform to do the beef, because we have to continue to insist publicly for disclosure and for an independent investigation and for the citizenry to be treated like adults. Number one, I spoke to Budna on Friday night, and he confirmed that the Belize embassy in Guatemala City has been to see him to make a welfare check.
Okay.
He's in a prison in Guatemala City.
Okay.
And they said that counselor support to Mr. Budna to ensure he receives the medical assistance needed and that his human rights are protected. Well, the meeting did not go well, because Mr. Budna is like, oh no, that is state who abduct me. And ono the consumi, he says they did not ask about his injuries, which were inflicted on him. He maintains, and I verily believe, by state actors. Were they acting on behalf of what part of the state, I don't know, but by police officers. So I think we have those injuries on the server, guys. He can show the ligature marks on his wrist. We'll have up that footage shortly.
Okay.
But he has provided me with, so that's a bruising on his leg. And then we have the ligature marks on his wrist as well, guys. That's another bruise. That's a ligature mark on the finger. Hold on, not there. Yeah. So, yeah, but if we can pull up the one with the wrist, there's a video, guys. Anyway, we'll have that up shortly. But my point is that, yes, so that's the ligature mark on the wrist from where he was bound. And he says, he maintains, by Belizean law enforcement who did that to him. That's what he maintains. Okay. So he didn't respond well, as I understand it, to when the consul, the embassy, came to make a visit, because he's like, the state, he believes, played a central role in this. Many in the public believe the same thing, and the only way to satisfy the public interest that a citizen was not abducted by police officers is to, A, show us that surveillance video. And it's in the state's hands, because the offices that captured it are all government offices.
Okay.
The Treasury Department, the National Library Service, the Banquitas House of Culture. It is the duty of the police department, because police are under suspicion, We're not asking for a surveillance video of a homicide, something that will shock and outrage the senses. We're asking for the video of the abduction of a Belizean citizen. I am not here advocating for Joseph Budna as a good and upstanding citizen. He's a convicted child predator. He is on trial for other offenses, I understand.
Yeah.
But he's a citizen of this country. And the minute a citizen's fundamental right to security within the state and his deliverance to a hostile, I shouldn't say a hostile, but a country that claims us.
Okay.
When that happens, it's not the United States, it's Guatemala which claims us. When that happens, and he has made a very specific allegation against the police, they have to satisfy the public that they were not involved, and there are only two ways to do this. I want three. Number one, release the surveillance video. They have taken possession of the DVRs. Police have taken possession of the DVRs. That is very frightening to me. I don't trust the police to investigate themselves, especially in a matter of high crime.
Yeah.
This is a matter of high crime. I do not trust them with the DVRs. And I call on the Prime Minister, I call on the Minister of Home Affairs to make a coherent national response to tell the citizenry, listen, something really odd happened. And we will report back to you. And we will appoint an independent investigation, because the police, the allegation is, it goes to the very top. I have reason to believe it goes very high up. So, surveillance video, independent investigation, and third.
So there you go, gentlemen. Mr. Wade, I go to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have said initially, about really videos come to the nation, and I don't know how many days now that they refuse to make it public. I share publicly already some of the same sentiments that Jules uttered on the beef today, right? I have shared those sentiments some days ago. It's so sad, like I've said, that you cannot have the police investigating the police. He shared the same sentiments that of the opinion that people in the highest level of the police force are involved, the highest level of government, right, is involved. And what makes it more frightening is that, Mr. Chairman, is that the footage is coming from government run institutions, right? And it's frightening that since it's government runs institutions, supposed to be the people's institutions, right? So I don't see, for the hell of it, why they're taking so damn long in making these videos public, right? So there again, I come back to the, Mr. Chairman, I come back to the family of Mr. Joseph Ryan Budna to have some good attorneys to pursue the matter, and I'm pretty sure that they will dissect these tapes, forensics. I'm pretty sure that, I hope that the human rights, not in Belize, but outside of Belize, comes and get involved. Human Rights Commission, right? Belize have been black flagged already, Mr. Chairman, for violating human rights. And police have been named for violating human rights. The government has been named for violating human rights in Belize already. They have been flagged by the US State Department already, right? So, do they want more smears, more blacklisted under their watch? Do they want more of that? And it's so sad, and I'm going to quickly, Mr. Chairman, it's so sad that, to see some of the face posts that against Mr. Ryan Budner because of his lifestyle, right? And for the record, I would like to say that there are people in government, ministers, that are gay. They have similar lifestyle, PUP and UDP. Male and female have similar lifestyle. But do you hear about them?
No.
Hell no. But because they caught Mr. Ryan Budner on the act, he's a very, very, very bad, nasty person on Facebook. So what happened to the damn ministers, heads of department, government officials, the people that voted and elected these gays that are serving us? What happened to them? You don't hear their names, but who knows them knows them. That's the beauty of it. So I say this to say that, again, Mr. Chairman, I say I do not condone the actions, for the record, again, of Joseph Ryan Budner. But there is due process. Due process, right? So all we are trying to do is to get the government of Belize to honor due process. That's all, Mr. Chairman. So I just like to draw that to the attention of the nation and the world, right? How they label this guy, right? That he's such a pervert, criminal because of his lifestyle. And like I say, there are high people in society, in government, that share similar lifestyle. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Good
Mr.
night
Chairman?
to you, Mr. Morrison. Can you kindly unmute your mic? Mr. Morrison, can you kindly unmute your mic? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening, gentlemen, and good evening to our audience.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Morrison.
Nice to have you. Nice to see you.
Thank you for being a part of our 348th edition of Belizean Affair. You're highly appreciated, and you have excellent insights and some of the issues happening in Belize. With that said, again, I want to give you a warm welcome on the platform virtually. We were speaking here tonight about Mr. Budner's case.
Yes.
I have commented on it, and I have drawn an illustration between the foreign national terrorist that was brought in, who is roaming around in Belize as though he did not have a conviction. And when I speak of these things, I'm speaking about the due process. In fact, I have to even mention that his own country did not want him. So to pick up from where we was, Mr. Morrison, let me hear your input. You might have had some new access to videos, or you might have heard something that we have not shared. So I grant you the open floor, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, as we look at that, we say, why did Belize pick up a foreign terrorist and bring them on our soil, right? And what we can only think is that somebody in the government is trying to appease somebody out there
or somebody got some special token of money put in their pocket. We never know what's going on. And I guess the other thing is Mr. Budna is offending some of the local politicians, so they rather disregard our constitution, um, give up on his individual and constitutional rights, and send him back to Guatemala.
So,
So
Mr. Morrison, is it safe to say while the foreign tourists brought in some money, Mr. Budna is taken away from their pockets?
I don't know if he's taking away from their pockets directly, but he certainly is calling them out often enough on his program that put them on the spotlight, and I think they see an easy way out to get rid of him while violating our constitution, while violating his constitutional rights and the protection that the state should have offered him. I'm not saying that if Guatemala did ask for him in a proper way because of the crimes he had accused of and convicted of in that country, that our laws and our judges shouldn't necessarily make a determination to return him to complete his sentence. But I'm saying the manner in which we did it violates so many principles and laws that it puts all of us in question and in jeopardy should we come up against the government in any way. What will they do to us? I mean, these are just slippery stepping stones that we're going on. We're turning over our citizens to a foreign country where we have no interest in seeming to request that Guatemala return him. And it seems like, for the most part, the way the silence is on the part of the police, the way the silence is on the part of the government, it's a done deal. And I'm not so sure that any investigation is going to be true to heart in trying to find a solution, a resolution, and a discovery of exactly what happened, because it seems quite apparent that a lot of individuals way up top in the government, in the police department, and probably some in the law ranks have definite involvement in what happened. And so it is very troubling that the commissioner of police will say that they have cameras and they are not working. It is very troubling to believe that the police officers in the Orange Walk station were told to stand down. These are all concerns that should alert every one of us. I know many people are saying, "Oh, he's so bad. Oh, he's scum." All that might be true. I have no evidence against Mr. Budna. He may be all those things, but certainly he doesn't deserve that his constitutional rights and civil rights be violated to turn him over to a country unjustly without um, due precedence, proceeding in our courts that ought to make those type of decisions. They could have done it the right way, and they failed to do that. And they're asking us to just look the other way as this crime, a constitutional crime, a civil rights crime has been committed, and one that could result in charges being brought against the government of Belize and the leadership. And again, the people of the country will end up paying these bills. So I'm very concerned.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Well said. I want to add to
Mr.
that.
Chairman? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Brackett.
Yeah. Um, I want to read here from the preamble of the Constitution of Belize, Section E, first part, where it says, whereas the people of Belize require policies of state which protect and safeguard the unity, freedom, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Belize. We require that the government, as caretaker of our governance system, operate under policies of state that accrues to the well-being and best interests of the citizens or the people of the country. And it goes on into many sections, subsections, and paragraphs, and all kind of different, you know, uh, section 3 all the way through section 13. Section 19 of the Constitution, and many others, by the way, to clarify and dictate and tell the government basically how certain things are supposed to be done. And when they are done contrary to those dictates or prescripts of the Constitution, then for all intents and purposes, the government and or any institution that wields any power of governance is being a scarf law.
Mr. Brackett,
yes, sir.
Mr. Brackett, can you look up section 5 for me, please? While he's doing that, gentlemen, I want to say...
I have it available when you're ready, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, sir, if you have it.
Section 5, subsection 1 reads as follows. A person shall not be deprived of his personal liberty save as by the authority, by authorization of law in any of the following cases. That is to say, for example, under section A, or paragraph A. Do you want me to read the whole of that? Or any other part there?
Go ahead, sir. I want you to read it.
Save as, that is to say, in consequences of his unfitness to plead to a criminal charge or in execution of the sentence or order of a court, whether established for Belize or some other country. What is referring
Continue,
to there,
sir. Continue.
Yes, yeah. What is referring to there is when you have a treaty with other country. Okay, so let's keep that in mind as a baseline. Whether established for Belize or some other country, in respect of a criminal offense of which he has been convicted. B. Continue, Mr. Chairman.
Continue, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. In execution of the order of the Supreme Court under Section B, paragraph B, or the Court of Appeals, which is above the Supreme Court or the High Court, which punishes him or her for a contempt of the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeal or of another court or tribunal of jurisdiction, that is to say, either the Supreme Court, High Court of Belize, or the Appellate Court of Belize, or the final Regional Court of Jurisdiction, which is what is being referred to in the last part when it says court or tribunal. Paragraph C reads as follows. In execution of the order of a court made to secure the fulfillment of any obligations imposed on him or her by law. Paragraph D reads as follows. Or for the purposes of bringing him before a court in execution of the order of a court. That is, when you go and arrest somebody, you just can't arrest somebody willy-nilly and just say, I'm carrying the jail and lock them up in a jail for whatever amount of days or months, and then let them loose and say, okay, well, we don't have enough evidence to charge you, so we can just let you loose. You have violated that person's fundamental rights, and that person is entitled to sue for recovery of
exactly why I wanted you to read it, sir.
The last part, well, not last part, but section E, upon a reasonable suspicion of his having committed or being about to commit a criminal offense under any law. And paragraph F reads as follows: under the order of a court or with the consent of his parent or guardian in case the person is a minor, for his education or welfare, or a person that is maybe an adult by the age of 18 or
Okay,
more.
you can
But
stop right there.
yes, sir.
The reason why I wanted you to read that is because I want to show you, as I mentioned before, how kidnapping and human trafficking has been done, I believe, by both governments since 2018. When they pick up these young men from their homes or abroad, without they have committed a crime and transport them to the central prison. Now, I also want to remind you guys and the people at home, had it not been for us and Belizean affairs, they would not have readily put together a tribunal for these young men because they did not have one and they could not present these young men before a tribunal. It was not until we were speaking out. No, gentlemen and people at home and abroad, we have had the conversation about the 13th Amendment.
Before you
And
proceed,
we have,
Mr. Chairman, can I read a little more of what you had asked me to read just now? A specific portion I want to read, and that is under section I. I think it's J. No, I, section I. For the purposes of, because this is going to deal with the extradition portion now that we have been talking about earlier tonight. For the purposes of preventing him or his unlawful entry into Belize, or for the purposes of effecting his expulsion, extradition, or other lawful removal from Belize, or for the purpose of restraining him while he is being conveyed through Belize in the course of his extradition or removal as a convicted prisoner from one country to another. So
that
that
is
was
correct,
part that
sir.
deals with the extradition
And
portion.
that is why, importantly, a little while back, I said that Guatemala did not file papers for his extradition. We know for a fact there was none because the good inspector was asked the question 6 years ago, and he formal what he was saying by mentioning the procedures. So it is not that the police does not know what has to be done when extradition is taking place, and it has to be done through the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Mr. Chairman, and there is a Guatemalan consulate in Belize, or an embassy. They have their attaches, they have their spies and their other officers of state that represents their country under that embassy personnel protocols. If they wanted Mr. Budna, knowing that Mr. Budna was in Belize, walking around freely, they could have asked, like you had mentioned earlier,
Mr. Brackett, the
for
question
an
was
extradition.
asked
It was never.
6 years ago.
Wait. I'm saying that had Mr. Budna, had they asked, had they have a need and an urge or an interest in getting him over there, like some people are saying, they probably came over and they took him and carried him over there, which is bogus. That was only a side deal or a side something to distract people from the fact that our people of our state willpower had problems with this gentleman in many occasions,
Yes, we do
and he
know
was
that,
speaking
Mr.
politically,
Brackett.
and that is the basis on which he was taken and rendered over there. Okay, for those people to get a hold of him and then proceed with whatever they want. Because now the people over on our side can wash their hand like Pilate and pretend like they had nothing to do with delivering the man, when in fact the man may have committed the crimes he was a judge for. That is not in dispute. What should be in dispute is the length of time given to him for the crime that he committed compared to the length of time given to other people who commit the same crimes. That's a contention for it. But right now, with the gentleman being over there, they're not going to give him up to Belize. They don't have no respect or regards for Belize and Belizean law or any treaty with Belize. They have not ever honored any treaty with Belize. They have never
Mr.
seen that any
Brackett,
Guatemalans who commit crime over on our side and
Mr.
run over there.
Brackett, if they do or do not is not the issue. The issue here is due process
Right.
and what was done.
I want to add, Mr. Chairman, that what happened and the way this was handled, the way our government seemed to have given into this, either by direct assault in transporting Mr. Budna or by letting it stand, it weakens all of us as citizens our rights. It makes other countries now feel that they can, if they choose, come into our country and take our citizens, because our government is showing total disregard for our laws. What do you think another country that wants someone in Belize will feel able to do now based on the cover of what our own government did?
That has happened before, Mr.
Kidnapping. I'm sure it has.
It has happened before, sir.
In kidnapping our citizen and taking them out of the country, when it's our own government behaving in such manner. So we have opened the gate so that the next drug dealer, the next drug boss, the next anyone that and I'm not saying we're supposed to protect these people, but we have had these situations before where top people in our government have been accused of drug crimes and other crimes in the against the United States, and they have been arrested when they visit the United States. What if they were not, and if they want to come and get someone in our country? It doesn't have to be the United States. It could be Mexico. It could be any other country. The way we have opened this gate up to just say,
Mr. Morrison,
we have no rights under our own constitution. We can't even defend ourselves and say this is not how we treat our citizens. They could easily point to say, look what you have done to your own citizens. This opens the gate.
Mr.
That's why I read it
Morrison,
from the Constitution just now, from the preamble.
Mr. Morrison,
Yes,
a
sir.
prime example of that is what is happening to Venezuela, who is surrounded by American flotilla. Just imagine a sovereign nation surrounded by a nuclear power under false pretense, when we fully know the only reason they are there is
Oil.
to stop the Venezuelan oil from getting to the Chinese and to the rest of countries over on that side. Okay, but gentlemen, to come back to what I'm saying, there's a new trend happening. We had spoke about the 13th Amendment, and we have said specifically why it is bad for this country. And I want to go back to why I'm saying there's a new trend. 2 weeks ago on this platform, and I'm on the night, I brought up two gentlemen that was shot in the back by the police, who they claim assaulted them. Remember the word, gentlemen. The police claim they were assaulted by these gentlemen. But I can't see how you get assaulted when these gentlemen have no weapon and end up getting shot in the back. Again, 2 weeks ago, this is what happened, gentlemen.
I was at home washing, and after I saw some police truck pull up on the block and they were searching the area, and I went to buy bamboo across my grandmother, and upon coming outside back, I saw 3 police officers. They come out of my granny yard and they said freeze, and I freeze. I stayed there and put up my hand, and they searched me for illegal firearm or anything, and they didn't find anything. And from there I went off, I walk off, and I hear boom. When I hear boom, I feel some burning sensation, and I run and I fell, and I run to my cousin's yard to get help.
Okay.
They took me to the hospital.
So the police said that somebody approached from this building, came out, and they tell her, stop, come down, that they search you.
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that. So the version of what the police give,
That wrong.
totally different from what you're telling me.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't resist, you
No.
didn't run, you didn't.
No. I just stepped across the street and the man with the gun just shot me.
No, gentlemen and people at home and abroad, we need to know, just as how we are trying to find out what happened with Budna, if this is the same police officer going around shooting these young men in the back, specifically. I go to you, Mr. Wade. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. These are the things that we talk about, that it's not right, but we talk about these things and we see it happen repetitiously. So what that is telling you that, the authorities, the bosses, have these police on the street just to carry out these kinds of action, and with no recompense, no accountability. And they just keep doing it at random. I mean, how much is enough? We talk about these things, we call it out, and it's so quickly, Mr. Chairman. You see that Mr. Budna says that he was handed over with his file, with documents. So, Mr. Rosado, man, come on, man. Commissioner of Police. I can suspect how you get your commissionership. That's only my suspect. I suspect how you get it, but, I beg to differ.
Like most hired gunman, sir. He got it the same way like most hired gunman.
And anyway, like I say, right, like, the whole system just lies, keep lying, trying to justify their action. But at some point in time, I just hope that, they get caught one by one, right, and held accountable one by one, right? Because it's not right. And we need more people, Mr. Chairman, to speak out on these kinds of blatant abuse, blatant, actions that not supposed to happen, right? And a lot of times these people get away with their actions. So,
Mr.
so
Wade,
sad.
I don't know if we'll get to find out, since Smart is the one that controls the phone system for the government, and they have the records of the phone calls and stuff that was made. So I don't know. That's the problem when we don't have independent and verifiable ways of looking at records. Everything is just corrupted and inflamed and set up in a way that it's hidden from the transparency from the people of the country. And so,
Thank you. And before I finish up here, Mr. Chairman, real quick, and Mr. Morrison, you're so right. In terms of the video footage, they had mentioned only like 3 areas that they had gotten video footage from, and it's all government owned, government owned offices. So right there, that's a red flag. That is telling you something. Any stupid person like myself would know that
they footage yet.
And why, Mr. Morrison and Mr. Chairman, why are they? Hold on, let's take, right? Let me finish. Right? Why is the government, right? Why is the police force? Why are they taking so long? Right? What is it? What is it? The problem? What is the problem? produce the footage. What is so hard in that? Right? What is, it's just, Mr. Chairman, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. I want to say this to you. The doctoring is happening. That is why it's taking so
Yeah,
long.
yeah, yeah. They're
Can I
cleaning it
interject?
up.
Can I interject?
Go ahead, Mr. Brackett.
You brought up the point of the 13th Amendment just now, Mr. Chairman, and I want to say that the 13th Amendment is an onerous, highly illegal, immoral, and unconstitutional law that people concocted in cabinet and are trying to get through the House now with the hope of empowering the state, the police powers of the state, with exculpation or excuse for things that they did in the past, doing currently, and are hoping to do in the future, that they will not be held accountable for. But these are some of the constitution parts that are being totally in violation. Okay, not just one, two, or three pieces. Section 2, subsection 1, section 3, subsection 1, section 4, subsection 1, section 5, subsection 1, section 6, subsection 1, section 11, subsection 1, and section 13, subsection 1, as well as section 16, subsection 1, and section 18, subsection 1, as well as section 20 and 93, and section 98, 95, and others. Now, I don't understand how none of the lawyers in our cabinet who are sitting around and concocting and conspiring with these travesties to be able to put these things out there under the color of law to hurt people in the community. Of course, most of them that they are targeting are not the ones in Orange Walk or Zol, Payo, or any other district. It's not in the whole of Belize district. Some particular sections where mostly the black people and live. And the reason why the PUP, the target them right now is because under PUP government, they have always done that. Under UDP government, they do just the opposite because you have groups of these individuals who campaign for these two different parties. So when one party is in, they oppress and suppress the gangs that relate to the other party and always help the other party. That's how the system is being, and a lot of people that believe pretend that they don't understand exactly really what is happening behind the scenes. But when these things are put into law, that violates all these different sections that I just know. All of it both on the under the same law.
Yeah. Well, the gangs are definitely an instrument of the political parties. They definitely do the bidding and the enforcement for the political parties.
I am at fault for having helped to create that situation because I was one of the person who instigated the first creation of the youth groups under the UDP at my granduncle Tanoma Street shop. And that's what we used to break the back of PUP. That's how PUP was disciplined. Okay? So I'm comfortable.
Mr. Brackett, without elaborating on it, I sent you an email. Did you read it?
I'm not too sure, sir, because I've been kind of real busy recently, I know I have a lot of stuff that
I sent you an email last Friday on a topic.
We talk about that, but I never gone back to read it.
Okay.
We did spoke about it. I recall it. We did. I did not follow through, Mr. Chairman. Like I said, I'm under a lot of pressure.
Gentlemen, before we go to closing, the point I was making about what is happening, and we need some clarification. We will want to know if it's the same policeman going around shooting these gentlemen in the back. And this young man had said it specifically what happened to him. Let me go to the first one.
I believe, if I make sense to stand without a liar present.
Okay.
I don't believe in a speak without a liar, so I just be guilty for this. No waste of judge's time. And
so tell me what going on and why you get shot, why you get charged.
Well, I get charged because they explained to me that I have a greater assault on a police officer, which and I did not.
Okay.
I get abused by a police officer.
How this whole thing start? Why you end up to get charged? What the police say you do?
I didn't even know. I can't explain if I don't know.
So tell me, where were you there when all of this happened?
At home.
Okay. So you the one?
Yeah.
So the police are you getting anything?
Well, I explained to the police officer that just show me hand before you touch the consent. Because before they start you, they have to show you the hand. Just
okay.
That just that me explain and that me require a bullet for.
Okay, so the guy tell you, the police ever tell you and search you?
Well, the call that the call if when they tell me put up my hand.
Alright.
So we basically that's what they say.
Okay.
When they tell you put up your hand, I search you once.
Alright, so did he get to search you?
Yeah.
Okay. Find anything?
No, ma'am.
But you say you assaulted.
Yeah, which me I don't know how.
That's the kind of craziness, Mr. Chairman, that these people are trying to legitimize or legalize, even ahead of time.
Authoritarian rule. Mr. Morrison, 2 minutes.
Chance it, and just chance it.
Well, I don't know exactly what happened in the case of those two gentlemen that got shot, but what I can say, they were shot in the back. So I don't know. Either they were walking away or fleeing the police officer. So something went on that is not quite in structure with everything that's being said there. But I know for a fact. Let me finish, Mr. Brackett. I know for a fact that the manner in which the government, the police, treats its citizens is a direct reflection on the type of government we're having. And to this degree that we are seeing, it seems, and we still need to get the facts. And the police also have a responsibility to tell us their version of things. It seems that this could well be some type of abuse. Like you said, we don't know if it's the same individual police, but if it is, they within the department need to start investigating this and to sort of address this, because so far it's been non fatal. But if we allow this same type of individual spirit to continue, where police feel that they could just pull out a gun and shoot citizens, then this is going to be a very different state.
It's been happening for a long time now, and this is just the latest incarnation, because they're now trying to legitimize it under law. But this has been going on for decades now, where police officers pull a gun and shoot people, and
Well, I don't think the 13th Amendment allows them to shoot you. So
that's what the law is stipulating, Mr. Morrison.
Well, the law is saying that they can detain you. The law is saying they can hold you. The law is saying they can.
Once they put an SOE out there, or they declare or deem that area to be on that particular.
Yeah, but that's different than shooting you, Mr.
It's well done and it's sanctioned ahead of time. That's what the law is.
Mr. Brackett, we need to be clear on the law. The law does not give them or even allow them to shoot citizens. This is something they are doing that we need to stop.
Mr. Morrison, you are perfectly right, sir, and I want to say this. You have the right, the constitutional right, to walk away from a police officer if you know you have not committed a crime. 2, a police officer, if he wants to do a PI, you are not arrested, you are not read your rights if you walk away. Only when he's saying he wants to do a PI does not give him the right to shoot you in your back.
Exactly.
3.
There's no law that says that they should be able to do that, but that's what they're trying to sanction into law. That's the reason for the law.
Number 3, let me make it clear. These incidents happen when there is no state emergency, the 13th Amendment has not passed, and they have not declared any zone as such. I want to put this out there clear. So this is a clear violation of human rights. And I want to put it out there so you, the people at home and abroad, can know. Mr. Wade, I go to you for 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are you so right, Mr. Morrison? You're on the right track. Greg, you're on the right track. You know, those it really, hurts me to see the level of action of the police department, right? See how they abuse their power and to the vulnerable. I'm pretty sure that a different method could have used to have they should have elevated to that level then. But if they continue, and in my personal view, it's the same person that the pattern of shooting the same. Those two individuals that you showed on the tape, it's the same pattern, right? So most likely or not, it's that same individual that is carrying that gun, that uh non-lethal, but it could be lethal on close range. It could kill you on
Yes,
close
it could.
range,
It could.
right?
It's more than
So
one person, Mr.
yes,
Wade, that's doing
so
that kind of crap.
so I say, in the system they have one person that would design that would be assigned
Authorized.
to that particular weapon on a patrol. That one person. So it could be Greg. You might be right in terms of the same police officer, whether he or she, right? But I want to say this real quick is that the police department you know are introducing something and they are doing something that is not humane, right? So they must be very, very careful because they might just do it to the very wrong person, and then that non-lethal force that you're using, that person might return back with something very, very, very lethal, right? So just be careful of your pattern of behavior, right? It might turn back around, and some of you in the police department might get seriously, seriously injured. Cannot be hurting people like that and think it's okay. It's not okay, right? So it's just the only humane way to think. Mr. Chairman, thank you. It's always a pleasure, Mr.
Thank you,
Morrison.
Mr.
It's
Wade.
always a pleasure.
I also want to make it known you have the right, if you don't want to come in contact with the police, to run. And I am saying this outright, and I will tell you why. There is a Commonwealth Caribbean case in Australia that went to court for a young man who ran away from the police. And you know what happened? A decision was passed and he was not guilty and he filed suit. The judge specified that any individual has the right to run from the police if the police did not approach him and said, "You are arrested." Until they touch you and say you are arrested, you have the right to run from them if you don't
But
want to have contact with them.
Mr. Brackett, I hear that, but I wouldn't encourage anyone to run from the police.
I'm not
Because
encouraging it,
that
Mr. Morrison.
I
I just want
understand.
to
I
put it
understand.
out there so
Well,
that these gentlemen who
And
it
take them to
happened
court,
to know what to do.
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
that
Okay?
creates a lot of issues if someone run from the police. It creates a lot of issues. So
Mr.
I
Chairman?
think if a police, these gentlemen seem to have complied with what the police officer was asking at the moment.
Exactly.
And I think
And they still
that
got
is
stuck.
the attitude, and that's what we need to kind of share and broadcast, because running from the police creates a lot of danger for themselves and for the public.
While the case was ruled in Australia as such, Not all judges have the same judicial temperament. Do they all follow settled law? Otherwise, we would have less of the kind of problems that we have, especially in our country, where these new judges are coming now and they are making rulings that are contrary to the existing laws. Okay? Not all the judges are going to rule the same way.
Mr.
But if they
Brackett,
go to court and they can afford to pay a lawyer to take them to court and get the matter resolved, they may be able to have the case that you cited as part of their defense, and maybe end up winning their case. But they first have to come up with money. The people that we are talking about right here, right now, have no money. They are the poorest of the poorest people in Belize.
that is also correct.
But they don't have a chance.
No, Mr. Brackett. There is a thing called a civic duty, and under that civic duty, citizens of a country should assist the police in their investigation.
That's voluntary.
You don't have to do that.
Exactly.
So if you are having a conversation with a police, a consensual conversation, and he's taking it out of bounds, you have the right to stop and walk away.
No, not according to Belize practices. According to the law, yes, but not according to Belize practices. Because what they do then is they turn around and shoot your button at the back, and then they turn around and blame you for some other crime that you didn't commit.
That is why...
Just know what the young man complained about.
Right. And that is why I am putting it out there. Because, as I said, Mr. Wade, we want to know if it's the same individual carrying that weapon. Mr. Wade, I go to you for the closing, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Just for the record, there is protocol and there are procedures in the terms of using lethal force, right? You are being taught that once you're a policeman, not the one that they just pick up off the street and say, here is a badge and this and this is your number, you're a policeman, like what they did in the BDF. A certain minister in defense, John Saliva, took people from his basketball team or football team and enlisted them and with ranks too. Just gave them access to the BDF and gave them a number and everything. He made them BDF. What I'm saying is that
most of the people that are recruited nowadays are recruited on the basis of recommendation from high people in high places.
So, like we rightfully says, guys, the poor Mr. Morrison and Leonard and Greg, right? That they cannot defend themselves, so they just settle. You see, the young man, he pleaded guilty because right. So it's a travesty, and if someone takes up this and takes it to the court, they have a winning case because, like I say, there are procedures in terms of using lethal force. And it's always a pleasure, Mr. Chairman, to sit in your company. Mr. Morrison, it's always a pleasure to sit in your company, sir. Leonard, it's always a pleasure, my brother. And to those who view us tonight and will watch us a little later, thank you. And thanks to those who share our program. Thanks all those who support us, right? Thanks, and may God bless us. May God bless Belize. And we all look forward for a Wednesday night, Mr. Morrison. If you can brace us on Wednesday, I'm giving you a heads up.
Can we talk about it? Can we talk about that particular point as I mentioned earlier?
Sure.
After we close.
And Mr. Chairman, thank you for, again, we always show and tell. Thank you, and I just hope that tonight's program is beneficiary to some Belizean, both at home and abroad, and they take away something, learn something. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Back to you.
Okay, gentlemen, you ready? 1, 2, 3.